Hi guys. So today we're actually going to be on page 13 in your packet. We are skipping a section in the packet. We're going to skip over 2.11 just for time purposes to make sure we finish things up before the end of the marking period. So we're going to jump to 2.12. We're going to do the notes on proportions on page 13. We've been spending lots of time talking and solving equations. A proportion is just a new type of equation, something you might have seen and worked with before. A proportion is an equation in which two ratios or fractions are set equal to each other. So for example, you might have something like the fraction A over B equal to C over D. That's a proportion. Two fractions, equal sign in the middle. In order to solve a proportion, we use what is known as the cross product. That means we multiply the top and bottom of opposite fractions and set them equal to 0. So if I do that with the fraction or the proportion that I wrote, I would have A times D, and that's going to then equal, going the other way, B times C. Notice they're still equal in the middle. Okay, that is our cross product. If you need more time with the information on the screen, go ahead and hit pause. When you're ready, we're going to move on then to the examples. So starting with question 1, if we're going to perform the cross product, that means I need 40 times x or x times 40. So for example, I can write it as 40 times x, or I could just write 40x, right? That's how we show multiplication. On the other side, I have 8 times 25. I can perform 8 times 25. That gives me 200. Once you have your new equation, now we're solving it just like normal, meaning opposite operations. So we're going to divide both sides by 40. So this gives me x. 200 divided by 40 gives me an answer of 5. That first line that I wrote with the multiplication dots is not something you have to show in terms of credit, but it can help. So for example, on number 2, if I have 3 times y, I can just write 3y. And then if I have 4 times 6, I know that 4 times 6 is 24. And so now I can divide both sides by 3, and y equals 8. So you don't have to show that first line with the multiplication dots. You can if it helps you. When you get to a question like number 3, where your x or your y or whatever your letter is not by itself. Notice on my fraction I have a 3x minus 5. Well, when I go to do this multiplication with the 2, I'm going to use parentheses. Put the 2 in front, put your 3x minus 5 inside those parentheses. That's going to let us distribute. On the other side of my equal sign, I have 4 times a negative 13. That's going to be negative 52. And so we're going to take a moment and we're going to distribute that 2 through my parentheses. So 2 times 3x is 6x. 2 times a negative 5 is a negative 10. And again, now we're solving our equation like normal. So think opposite operations. If I have a minus 10, I need plus 10 on both sides. So negative 52 plus 10 is negative 42. And then I'm going to divide by 6. x equals -7. If you need more time with these 3 examples, go ahead and hit pause. When you're ready, go ahead and keep going as we look at the next examples. So when I look at the next row of examples, these are very similar to the ones above. So we're actually going to go a little bit out of order. I'm going to start with number 5 in the middle. So it doesn't matter which way you cross multiply first. If you're keeping it consistent, I'm going to have 20 times 21. That's 420. On the other side, right, do that. I'm going to have my 28 times n minus 3. And so again, we're going to need to distribute. So I'm going to hold on to my 420. 28 times n is 28n. 28 times the -3 is a -84. Opposite operation. So I'm going to add 84 to the 420. That gives me 504. And now I can divide by 28 on both sides. So 504 divided by 28 gives me an answer of 18 for letter N. I'd like you to hit pause and do examples 4 and 6. So go ahead and hit pause now. Okay, so hopefully you've already done questions 4 and 6. Let's check our answers. If I have 6 times 15, that gives me 90. And then if I cross multiply the other way, I'd have 5 times x. If you have your equation reversed and you have 5x equals 90, that is correct. Do not change it. Just solve it from there. We're going to divide both sides by 5. And so everybody should get an answer of 18. If I cross multiply over on number 6, I'm going to use some parentheses. 2 times 3a plus 1. Okay. That's going to equal 4 times 8, which is 32. And then again, we're going to deal with those parentheses by distributing our 2. So 2 times 3a is 6a. 2 times 1 is 2. And now we continue solving using our opposite operation. So we're going to subtract 2. And then divide by 6. And so a equals 5. If you need more time with these, go ahead and hit pause. Hopefully we're ready, and we're going to move on to the bottom row of examples. So these are all very similar to what we were just doing, okay? The only one that's really different is number 9. We're just going to have to distribute on both sides of our equal sign, okay? So what I'd like you to do is hit pause and try 7, 8, and 9 first. So hopefully we've tried 7, 8, and 9. Let's see how we did. So 1 times 18 is 18. 2y times 3 is 6y. Divide both sides by 6, and y equals 3. On number 8, we're going to do -3 times x plus 5. That is going to equal 9 times 6, which is 54. To solve, we distribute. Just be careful, this is a -3. So -3 times x, -3 times 5 is -15. So because that's a -15, we're going to add 15 to both sides. So negative 3x equals 69. And then when you divide, be careful that you're dividing by negative 3. So that means that x will equal a negative 23. Make sure we have our negative. Last one, I'm going to take 12 parentheses x plus 1. To that, we're going to equal 3 times 7 minus x in parentheses. Okay, you always want the whole number in front of the parenthesis and whatever has the plus or minus sign inside your parenthesis. So now we distribute 12 times x, 12 times 1, so 12x plus 12. On the other side, 3 times 7 is 21. 3 times a minus x is now a minus 3x. So again, we're going to use opposite operations, but we also have to think about like terms. So x with x. So if it's a minus 3x, I plus 3x, but I have to plus it where I already have an x. So 12x plus 3x is 15x, plus 12 equal to 21. Now I get my whole numbers together. So if it's a plus 12, we need a minus 12. So that means 21 minus 12 gives us 9, and we're going to divide by 15. 9 divided by 15 is obviously not going to be a whole number, so you have two options. You can simplify the fraction, meaning you would have 3 over 5, or you can tell me that it's the decimal 0.6. Either one is fine, fraction or decimal. If you need more time, go ahead and hit pause. If you are good to go, that means you're ready to take care of the homework and make sure that we submit it to Canvas for our credit. Have a great day.